Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Key Text. I know the schedule's been insane lately, but I have a very good treat for you all today because this has been a video I've been wanting to make for the longest time, and honestly, everyone is probably sick of it. And today, if it's not obvious by the thumbnail and the title, I'm going to be talking about the free updates that we get with Nintendo games. And I'm here, and I'm joined by Pac-Fessor as well.
What's up, guys? And this free update thing has been going on since the Wii U era. Some games, like the difference between, we're going to talk about this in a moment, but like some games have enough content, and Nintendo adds free content in the game, which is great. If it has enough content, you can add free updates. You can if you want to. But when it comes to games that it doesn't have enough content, the free update should have been in the base game when it first came out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to be doing in this video is, talking about the free update style of what's been going on with the recent Nintendo Switch games that have been released. Games like Mario Golf Super Rush, Tennis Aces, Switch Sports, and, well, Switch Sports and Battle League definitely got it the worst. We're going to be talking about what these games were like at launch and how they are now, as well as a couple other games as well to see how it is. So, yeah, I've been wanting to make this for the longest time. So, anyways, let's get into this. So, the first game I want to talk about that kind of debuted this free update factor was Splatoon 1 on the Wii U. This game started the free update style of games, and honestly, the free updates here weren't that bad, because when the game launched, there was already tons of content, like a whole story mode, and plenty of stuff to do. With the free updates being added more and more, the game just was a lot more fun, and honestly, I mean, it's not that bad. The free updates here were, they were reasonable. At least the game was finished at launch, and, planning to add more content, that is completely fine as long as your game is finished.
Right, exactly. And then that was the first game that had the free update. So yeah, Splatoon. It was fresh. It was new. It was a new series that Nintendo made. Splatoon is one of my favorite series of all time. Yeah, I cannot wait for Splatoon 3. Yeah, that game had enough content. I played that game a lot during the Wii U era. But yeah, it's one of my favorite Wii U games I like to go back to. And yeah, it does have a lot of content in the game.
The next game that ended up getting the free update approach is Super Mario Maker for the Wii U. And just like Splatoon 1, this game wasn't that bad in terms of the free updates because, again, the game had a rightful amount of content to keep you going. And I'm going to be saying the same thing about Super Mario Maker 2, of course. Both of those games had plenty of content at launch, and the free updates just made the games even better. Aside from Mario Maker 2 lacking online play at launch with friends, I don't know why that wasn't there at launch, but whatever.
Yeah, I love the Mario Maker games. Super Mario Maker 2 is one of my favorite Mario games on the Switch. Let's hope for Super Mario Maker 3 because I think that Mario Maker 3 will probably get like a 3D builder and also a city one as well with this. So yeah, let's hope for that. But yeah, both of the games are very good. And I love to create my own levels from scratch and from my mind.
And now we get to the main subject, the Switch era of games here. So there's a lot more free update Switch games than there were for Wii U. And the first one that comes to people's mind is Splatoon 2, just like Splatoon 1. Splatoon 2 wasn't that bad in terms of launch content. I mean, it was basically the same as the first game. You still had a story mode, you still had turf wars. And the game wasn't that bad at launch. And eventually in around summer 2018, we got a whole new expansion called Octo Expansion, which honestly is one of the hardest campaigns I've ever played in a video game, and is very frustrating. So not only was that a nice touch, but also the other updates we got, like bringing back old things from Splatoon 1 and all that, it was a neat touch. Especially the Splatfest being added in the first two games was always a treat.
Right. Yeah, but I like Splatoon 2 more, but I think once Splatoon 3 comes out, I'm going to love it even more because I do think that Splatoon 3 is going to have some more modes in it. But yeah, I love Splatoon 2. As of now, it's my favorite Splatoon content. It's the same thing as the first game. So, yeah, let's hope that the third game has a lot of content.
And then here's another one that a lot of people are really divided on to see if the free updates actually made the game better or not. Another very interesting game that came out a year later was Kirby Star Allies. That game launched with, not that much content, but the free updates added a whole bunch of new stuff like Heroes in Another Dimension and a couple others. A lot of Kirby fans really remain divided about this game, specifically because of the free content updates. A lot of people said the free content updates for the game made the game a lot more better, or the game already had enough content to begin with at launch. I personally still haven't played Star Allies, but from what I've heard, the game had some decent amount of content at launch, along with the free updates being a nice touch.
Right, yeah. Some people say that Kirby Star Allies is mediocre. Some people say it's good. I think it's just decent in my opinion. It's not mediocre for me. I didn't really care about the free update really for the game, but it's a very short game. Then in some retailers it could be lower price. So if you're planning to pick it up, just I want to let you guys know that it's going to be pretty short. It takes like 4 to 5 hours to complete it. So yeah, you're not. It's a decent game, but if you're a Kirby fan out there, the game is for you.
And then this is where we start to get to the interesting realm of free updates. The next game that ended up getting the free update treatment was Mario Tennis Aces, a game that came out in June 2018. And this is probably one of the free content updates that a lot of people hated. For one, it didn't have an opening cutscene until a year later into the game. Two, it didn't have that much of a good character roster. And three, it's just, they've even reused a lot of old. Even when the opening did come out, most of the voice clips were just from the older games, like Luigi from Mario Kart Wii when he screams, along with some other ones, like for God's sakes, they reused the freaking Luigi thing from Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga when Mario, when everyone was just dead and Mario just said that. That just was so out of place and honestly did not make no sense. And then the worst one is when, at the beginning of the opening cutscene, for no fucking reason, they decided to use the "He Walks Funny" from Mario Power Tennis's opening when Mario and Waluigi sees Bowser walk. Waluigi's like, "He walks funny," and then Mario's like, "Oh, shut up!" But here they just use it in Tennis Aces, and it makes no sense here.
Exactly. It's like, and here's the thing: that Mario Tennis Aces probably has the best roster on the Switch era for Mario sports games as of now. It has a big roster of characters. But yeah, the opening cutscene was just like they should have been in the base game. And then the other thing is like the story mode. It's like it's hard to tell. Like once you get to the third world, it gets really difficult. Like I had to play through all the story modes to get to the end. And I said, "Holy crap! That story mode was hard as hell." Like I liked how they brought back the story mode, like the older Mario Tennis on the GBA and stuff like that. But like the story mode was just hard, and like Peter Piranha became a character. Like he's like what's the point to begin with? Like Jesus Christ! It's just like. Peter Piranha is the boss in the story mode, and he's a playable character in the roster. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Another crazy weird thing is that Tennis Aces was definitely the first free update game that a lot of people really hated. And I know another certain YouTuber who definitely hated it when it came out, but we're not going to go ahead and talk about him. The next game, at least in my opinion, that didn't really get any free updates until fucking 2021 was Super Mario Party. That game definitely lacks content, and to this day, still lacks content. And the only thing they really added to it was online play with friends. Something that should have been in the game ever since it came out, but got added to a whopping 3 years later with an update. Yeah, that's fun. Anyway, the game only has 4 boards, which is horrible. And on top of that, a lot of minigames were okay. It's just that the lack of more boards and the fact that we didn't even get a proper online play mode until 3 years after the game came out shows to say how much the game really did not work out.
Right, and like, I think that Super Mario Party is decent in my opinion, but the only problem with how it's just like the boards and like you cannot even use a freaking Pro Controller for the game. But thank God we got Mario Party Superstars because that game is so good. Favorite Mario Party game of all time.
Yeah.
But like Super Mario Party is just it's decent. It's one of the top 10 selling Switch games, but like it's mediocre for some people. It's just the only problem, like I said, it's just there's no Pro Controller ability. You can only use the Joy-Con. So if you're a person that likes Mario Party and likes to use the Joy-Cons as motion controls or try like handheld, go for it.
Yeah, it's just Super Mario Party, while NDQ failed from 10 to 9, they were like, oh, let's bring back the old style of Mario Party by actually, getting stars on the board. Well, that's neat. I'm just saying the star payment is a bit too low than high because it's like $10 coins for a star, and that's the same exact price for a golden pipe, so you can just get easy stars all the time. I just really do not like Super Mario Party as much. And Superstars is great too, but that game only has one more board than Super Mario Party, and I really hope we get DLC for that game in the near future. After Super Mario Party, not really much free updates came out. 2019 wasn't that bad of a year for free updates. As far as I remember, Mario Maker 2 was the only game that got one. And, yeah, things get a little different around here. But then we dive into 2020 where we get Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is simply a game that definitely lacked a whole bunch of content when it came out. As a person who bought New Horizons around when it came out, the lack of content was horrible at launch. The game had, literally nothing when it came out. There's no, all the stuff for New Leaf was just not there. Eventually, though, we got more free updates. But tell me this, would I rather wait 2 months to be able to, I don't know, swim or just be able to dream? Why would I wait 2 months for that? Both of those features were included within New Leaf, and New Leaf only got one update during the entire game's life cycle that added even more. But New Horizons was a totally lackluster game when it came out and removed so many things from New Leaf that, in my opinion, was just not fun. Even with the game eventually got very good with the last update being the 2.0 update, definitely fixed the game, but even after that, I still am not a fan of New Horizons.
Right, and it also came out, I understand what you're saying, but it also came out at a perfect time when we were in the beginning of the pandemic because people couldn't see themselves in person. So luckily Nintendo figured out, hey, let's meet our friends in a game and interact with each other. But yeah, that was the perfect time to release the game. But yeah, I never played the Animal Crossing series. But again, yeah, the content was just, it was not like New Leaf. I'm sorry, but we're going to talk about another certain game that is a certain collection that I hate the most.
Well, alright, that's pretty much the next one on the list. But anyway, New Horizons was not good in my opinion. As a person who's only played 2 Animal Crossing games, that being New Leaf and New Horizons, New Leaf is way more of a better game, and honestly has more content in New Horizons. And like I said, the 2.0 update for New Horizons definitely helped the game. It didn't really get it good enough for me. And even with the expansion pack with adding the Happy Home Paradise, that is just an okay version of Home Designer. Then next up is a game that we've already talked about before in another video, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Yeah, we've already talked about this before in a Bad Ports and Remakes video, but we didn't really mention that much. The game was announced back in March of 2020, and a lot of people were speculating, was it going to be remasters of all these games? And I was one of those people who, even if it was just the original games, I would not mind. I would have not minded as long as they had 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, and Galaxy 2. I would have been completely fine with it. So then the game got announced in early September via Direct that was purely based on Mario. And then I was so excited for the game at first. I was happy because I knew that I was going to have a fun time with 64 and Galaxy, since those are some of my favorite Mario games ever. And I was about to play Sunshine for the first time, which is pretty much the whole reason why I bought 3D All-Stars, was to play Sunshine for the first time. So then it realized, when it dawned on me, the days counting down until release, it dawned upon me about how rushed this collection was. It was a limited time release, which means you could only get it until March 31st, 2021, which, by the way, is a complete lie. I still see physical copies of the game on the stores to this day. And another reason is because the game just was $60. $60 for free games. There was no Galaxy 2, and was just upscaled versions of these games. And again, we've already dove into this a lot into the bad ports and remakes video, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but my God, this was rushed.
Right, and like that first update that had the dust in one of the flood levels, they got like it was there, like that it was there because Nintendo was like it was part of the development that they were doing, and they forgot to get rid of it. So Nintendo said, "Hey, we got to get rid of the update, rid of that thing as an update," and then you also the next update was also another thing for Sunshine, which was the GameCube controller thing, which is
Can I talk about this real quick? So, if it's not obvious, Sunshine was the worst game out of the three. It had a lot of bugs. So, I would assume that, Nintendo was using something like Dolphin to run the games. And that is definitely apparent. As you just mentioned, that the secret levels actually had debug cubes in them, which were present in the Dolphin emulator. Another thing I noticed that not much other people noticed was how the game would go in 4x3 when you tried to go underwater with the turbo nozzle. And then another thing, which a lot of people noticed, including myself, for some reason upon opening the map, the game would just drop down in frames for no reason. Again, all of these were eventually fixed. And then we get to the GameCube controller support. Oh yeah, the GameCube controller, being one of the best controllers that was specifically made for Mario Sunshine. Well, at launch, the controller did like nothing. You weren't able to use the GameCube controller with Mario Sunshine, the game that originally used the GameCube controller. A couple months later, they added support for the GameCube controller, but why the hell did it take them this long to add something like that into a GameCube game that was a port of a game that used the GameCube controller? And then eventually, when the Nintendo 64 controller released for the Switch Online expansion pack, they then did another update for 3D All-Stars, adding 64 controller support for Mario 64, which is nice. But my God, what the hell happened here?
Right, exactly. But like, I don't have the game because it's a very lazy collection. But is it nice to have 3D All-Stars on the Switch? Absolutely. But the problem is there was no effort put into it, and they treat it like a major release. Like with all their ports, they treat it like major releases, and most of the time, all the ports have updates, and also, most of them, they aren't great. Like, the only ports that are worth it is just Mario Kart Deluxe, and basically, we were plus Bowser's Fury. Minecraft, if you want to count that too, but like... Yeah,
like, to quote you, who gives a rat's ass about the Wii U ports? Because... yeah, who does give a rat's ass about the Wii U ports? Selling them back to you for $60? Yeah, I mean, it's cool to have Wii U ports because, the Wii U definitely did not sell well. So it's cool to have ports of Wii U games, but some of them are just not worth it. Games like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and hell, even Tropical Freeze, as good as that game is, the Switch port was not worth being $60. But again, we've already talked about both of these games in the Bad Ports and Remakes video. So, yeah, Wii U ports are decent. But anyways, we got a little bit off of track with the free updates now. Alright, 2021. Now, this is where things start to really go down. Like, really go down. Because now we're talking about Mario Golf Super Rush. Before yesterday, I never played Super Rush. And just yesterday, I played the game. And honestly, I could see where people are coming from. Obviously, I played the game after it was finished, but I said to myself when the game came out, I wasn't going to buy it unless the game actually was finished. So then I bought it when the game was finished just yesterday. And this game is decent at best. The roster is pretty good, but why the hell would we have picks like why the hell do we need Ninja in this game? That's stupid. and and then you add like the new courses that got added for the free updates, like New Donk City. That's actually a really good pick. But the rest of the courses are just as bland as the whole fucking game is, aside from the last one.
Right, exactly. I consider Super Rush the best Mario sports game on Switch because of the gameplay and like the roster is just decent. Like Aces will always have the best roster for the Mario Switch games, but like it's just like my favorite mode is Speed Golf, and I didn't get the game at launch because I was not into the Mario Golf series at the time. But in December, I got it for Christmas in 2021 because I asked my dad for it. He said, "Okay, here you go. Here's Mario Golf Super Rush," and it had all the free updates. And yeah, I don't think we're not going to get any more updates for Super Rush just because.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the Speed Golf. I love the normal modes, and yeah, it's way more relaxing than Battle League.
Yeah, eventually one day I'm going to have to do a review on Super Rush, but I honestly do not see the hate with Speed Golf. People probably just don't like it because, I mean, running up to get to the ball in real life is probably not fun. I don't know. I've never played actual
Battle
golf.
Golf is great, too.
But other than that, I've only played Speed Golf in Standard. I haven't played for the entire game yet. So I can't really form a full opinion on the game, but I could see where people are coming from. Most of the courses don't look like Mario courses. They're all just bland and stupid. If you look at the rookie course, they all just look the exact same with the hole placement being a little different. It's just, I don't know. And you could also unlock all the courses within a couple hours as long as you just play through 18 holes of each course. You could just unlock the other course right there. I spent hours playing this game yesterday, and I really wanted to kind of love it, but I didn't love it. I just liked it. I played the ranked battles online to get the regular Waluigi costume last night. That was decent. Yeah. But I'm just going to say so far, yeah, this is where things start to decline. Super Rush definitely did not have that much content at launch. And honestly, come on now. I mean, having not that much of a good character roster. Super Rush's character roster is 10 times better than the next Mario Sports games we're talking about, though. And Super Rush was pretty much the only notable 2021 game that I had to note that I had to note here.
You forgot Big Brain Academy.
I haven't played Brain vs. Brain, so you could take over this one.
All right, so I got the game at launch, and yeah, a lot of people say that it's just like Wii Degree, but I don't see it's just like we only got like one update for the game, and it was just like modifying like what the difficulties are, like if you're gonna see like anything or not, but like it was just one update. Yeah, the Brain vs. Brain is decent. I consider probably the best Big Brain Academy game as of now, and I love how Nintendo brought it back. I know you don't have the game, but yeah, a lot of people say that it's just mediocre. It's just like Wii Degree, but like I don't see it. It's just good for me. But yeah, I can kind of tell where it's coming from. But yeah, all I have to say, it's decent. If you like educational games, that game is for you.
And then we get into 2022. Oh, fuck. This is where things get horrible, all right? So the first half of Nintendo's 2022 wasn't too bad. We got the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus, which honestly was not that bad. That game was actually really good, and Game Freak actually gives a fuck about their fans. Anyway, now we get into where the free update is really starting to get annoying with there's two specific games that I'm pretty sure all of you guys have probably knew about that 100% is going to get brung up. I'm, of course, talking about Nintendo Switch Sports and Mario Strikers Battle League. First up, let's start off with Switch Sports, and this is by far the game that pisses me off the most when it comes to free updates. So, the game is $40 to $50, which is Okay, but then you actually see the number of sports you get with the game at launch. And then you realize this was just a cash grab because there's only 6 sports in the whole game compared to, not that much. There also isn't as much modes within modes as the others. Yeah, there's special modes for soccer or bowling, but that's it. And then, which recently just got this update, you're going to add a leg strap to your physical version of the game, but you're not going to add compatibility to it at launch, but then add it within a summer update about a couple months later. Why the fuck would you include that within the base game? Now, recently, we finally did get the, leg strap update, but even then, as someone who tried the leg strap mode for base golf, it really is disappointing. You move automatically and you jump automatically. Yeah, your character just moves automatically. The sprint, you gotta shake the Joy-Con, the other Joy-Con you have, you gotta shake it to sprint or dash, and then obviously to kick, you use your leg. But that was a very disappointing update. And apparently there was a new volleyball move, but I played volleyball I played a few volleyball games and I didn't see any new moves, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So when the Switch was first revealed, I thought, what's the next me sports game is gonna be like? Like I thought it was gonna be like open world, like you run around Woohoo Island as your me and like go like run to the building for the next sport. Like I thought it was gonna evolve, but apparently it devolved. Like
Exactly.
with all the like Wii Sports Resort is considered the best Wii Sports game. Like let's just face it,
Yeah,
it has
it is.
a lot of sports. It has like all the original Mii's. Wii Sports is great. The first game is great. But Wii Sports Resort was just like something else. But Wii
Yeah.
Sports Club is essentially a remake of the first game.
I could talk about Club, but before I go into Club, can we look back at that price tag, $50 for 6 sports that has less content than the free game that came with your Wii? Yeah, okay, that's perfectly sensible. Anyway, as you were saying, yeah, the original Wii Sports game was pretty packed full of content for a game that came with the Wii. I mean, you had 5 sports, and then you had all the training games along with Wii Fitness. Wii Sports Resort, being one of my most favorite Wii games of all time, was jam-packed full of content, 12 sports, and almost every sport in the game had tons of different modes inside of it. And then Wii Sports Club came out in 2013, and as a person who recently bought the game physically, Club is okay. It's a remake of the first Wii Sports game, which has 5 sports, and then just like Wii Sports Resort, it does have modes within modes, including a training mode, which has tons and tons of modes, which is insane. And even utilizing the gamepad for golf and baseball, that's some neat touches. But then you got the sports that were dumbed down, specifically baseball and boxing. What the hell did they do to boxing? So boxing is probably the worst sport in the collection by far. Instead of using a Wii Remote and nunchuck like you would back in Wii Sports, now you only use one Wii Remote. And if you want to do two-handed, you have to have 2 Wii Remotes with Wii Motion Plus on them. That is stupid. Anyway, this is by far a worse version of Wii Sports Boxing. There's no slow-mo when you dodge or anything like that. It's just soulless. In fact, the entire game is basically soulless. The main selling point of the game was that it was a HD version of Wii Sports, and that was all that was upscaled. But then you go into the game and you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. And back to the Switch Sports thing. Like the Nintendo Switch Sports, it's like a 5 below game. Let's just face it. It's going to be like 5 million or below because that's the type of game it's going to be. But yeah, it's just like we're also getting Golf 2, which it should have been the base game, and it's coming out this fall. So I think it's probably going to come out. Let's just say, I don't know, maybe September, October. In fact, well, Nintendo is playing it as the release window, so you never know. Nintendo may push it back to next year, which will suck. But yeah, I hope it comes out this year, which they're planning to release it in fall. But
Yeah,
like it should have been the base game, like I said. And again, like you have like the Wii Sports Series devolved with like you don't have like the sports like Wii Sports Resort. Like it's nice that you added volleyball and badminton as your new sports. I can understand that. But you don't like it should have more sports than Wii Sports Resort because I thought like when I saw the title, I thought it was going going to be like the ultimate Wii Sports, like because like now like in the Switch era we have like the ultimate Smash Bros. We have the ultimate like 3D Mario, like Ultimate Mario Party Superstars. Like it's like I thought that was going to be like the ultimate Wii Sports game, but it's not. It just evolved.
So anyway, here's the next thing. So yeah, I think that the evolution of the Wii Sports series can be seen. I mean, the original was very classic. I mean, everyone has played the original. Resort was fantastic. Club was a little iffy, and then Switch Sports was, in my opinion, not that good. If I had to rank all the games, for me, Switch Sports would be the worst game. Club would be second, and then the original would be third, and then Wii Sports being and then Resort being the last as the in terms of best, in terms of worst to best. Switch Sports is the worst one. Club is the second worst, and then you got the original as third one, and then Resort as the best one because that had so much content. And then we get into the final game of this video, Mario Strikers Battle League. Oh my fuck.
Oh my gosh! They added Shotgun Daisy. Whoa!
Whoa, dude! So anyway, Mario Strikers Battle League was, in terms of this video, the latest game that gets a free update treatment. And as someone who loved Mario Strikers Charged on the Wii, I was so excited for Mario Strikers Battle League when it got revealed. I mean, heck, go look at my reaction. You'll see how excited I was for it. But anyways, Mario Strikers Battle League, I was unbelievably excited for. I was so happy we were getting a new Strikers game within 15 years. But then the game came out, and yeah, as a person who bought it a month after release, this game fucking sucks, dude. There is no content here. There is, 10 characters? And then just recently they added Shy Guy and fucking Daisy, which, by the way, Daisy should have been in the game when the game came out. Makes no sense. And then just like Boom Boom sucks as a fucking goalie. Like, what the hell is he doing? If you do like one curve, you get that free goal. Like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's just like I don't know. I don't get why we got 10 characters. Like, I wish we got Daisy and Bowser Jr. or like any other Mario enemy at the base game. But like, I hope we get Bowser Jr. because that's my favorite Mario character of all time. I know that he's your main in your Mario spin-off games, but same for me. But like, I just hope that like it has enough content because like I just like Nintendo could just get away with this one this time because most of the time when Nintendo completes the games with the free updates, they pretty much get away with it. But Jan, do you think this is going to be the last straw for most Nintendo fans?
I would say Switch Sports was my last straw, but it probably is going to be for many Nintendo fans. Battle League they're just getting worse with the free updates. If you have not noticed already, the more and more free updates we've gotten, the more unfinished the games have been. They're like, oh, we could just release an unfinished game for $60 and then just proceed people with updates so they can come back. That's not going to fucking work, all right? If someone is like, oh, Mario Golf Super Rush got an update with new characters, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to play the game right now. No one's going to do that. They're just going to say, oh, cool, free update to an unfinished game. Like, who the fuck, dude? Like, why? Why do you do this, Nintendo? Just please stop. No one's liking it. And I guarantee you, when Splatoon 3 releases, it's probably going to do this free update thing, just like 2 and 1 did. At least have it be finished.
But the Splatoon team had enough content in both games, so I don't know. You never know. We'll see what happens. But about the free updates, like I don't want like other companies going around and saying, maybe we can do that too. Like like other companies looking at Nintendo doing the free update strategy. Like the other companies can do that as well. Like I don't want Disney or like Bandai Namco or TC Games to do that because like that those companies will fall down to the grave if they did that.
Yeah, it's just Nintendo has been very shit. Like yeah, the free updates can be cool if the game is finished, but if there's games like Switch Sports, Super Rush, and Battle League, and they're all unfinished, and then you update them with stuff, it's just no one's gonna fucking like it. Just finish your game. And here's the thing. I guarantee you, Battle League was probably Nintendo's fault because Next Level Games is a awesome company. They've made some really good games. They made the previous Strikers games and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and 3, which are all pretty fantastic. So I guarantee you, Nintendo was probably rushing Next Level Games to make Battle League by a deadline. So because Next Level Games didn't have the time, they couldn't, finish it. So now, as of now, we have 2 new characters, Daisy and Shy Guy, and I don't know what the future of these games will hold, but my god, dude.
Yeah, it's just like, what, for crying out loud, it's just like no one doesn't, most of the time, when the games are unfinished, those games, sell 5 million or below, let's just face it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Super Rush sold, I think it's 5 million or 4 million, and it's going to be, for a Battle League, Switch Sports, and, Aces, and, Star Allies, it's just, I don't know what to say.
Alright, so that's probably gonna do it. It's been 36 minutes, but yeah, this is probably one of our most longest videos in a long time, but, it's just a free update thing kind of pisses me off nowadays and probably pisses many other Nintendo fans off. You could say, oh, the free updates are getting people back to the game, but I'm not gonna get super excited over Shy Guy and Daisy being added to my Mario Strikers game when they were both previously in the previous Mario Strikers game 15 years ago. It's just
right.
I'm not gonna get excited over that. I'm not gonna come back to the game over that. It's just stupid. It's just I never liked the free update thing, sort of. I mean, at first when stuff Mario Maker and Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 and Mario Maker 2, they're okay because at least they both had jam-packed full content, and with the free updates made the game even more fun, because Mario Maker 2, while they didn't have online play with friends at launch, they added it eventually, along with adding a whole bunch of new power-ups. That's what made Mario Maker 2 a really, really good game. Even with the not free updates, you're still going to have a fun time. It's just, but when you get to stuff like, Switch Sports, Super Rush, New Horizons even, Battle League, those games are all just incredibly unfinished and honestly just really need more updates. It's just, goddamn, why do you really need to add the updates? Just make your games finished, that's all.
Yeah.
And that's all I gotta say for now. Again, very sorry for the lack of uploads. I kind of took a little bit of a break without really announcing it, but after daily uploading for 16 days, how could you say that? But hopefully we will be back soon because within a couple of days I am going to be doing the Minecraft stream. Don't forget, you guys could still vote on who is going to be winning the mob vote for the stream. And then a couple days later, I will be doing a video with Pac-Fessor. I'm playing all the Way 2 tracks for Mario Kart 8, so be on the lookout for that. And also, happy 5th year. It's been 5 years since this channel, since I've been doing videos now. It's been 5 years now, so it's insane. So, yeah, special thanks to Pac-Fessor for joining me, and this video, just like so many others I've been wanting to make, it's just because the free update practice is just fucking stupid. It's also the same thing with oversimplified logos. That'll have to be a separate video at one time, but my god, it's just
we'll have to cover that.
We'll have to cover oversimplified logos eventually, but that's all I gotta say for this video. Again, it's been almost 2 weeks since me and Pac-Fessor's last video, which was the Hello Kitty Cruises video. And speaking of that, it has hit 30 views thanks to you guys, which means when Season 5 ends for Super Cute Adventures, we're going to be ranking the seasons. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's all I got to say for this. Any final thoughts, Pac-Fessor, before we end it?
No, but I don't have anything else to say about free updates. But yeah, I can't wait for our future videos, so.
Yeah. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Tequila.